The gravel crunched under my tires like bones snapping in the dead of night, and I slammed on the brakes just as the lake house loomed into view, its cedar walls glowing like a goddamn beacon in the Adirondack twilight. My phone buzzed in the cup holder. Unknown number, but the preview said it all. Owen, turn around. He's not who you think. Don't let him break you again. Heart pounding. I glanced at the rear view, half expecting to see ghosts from Boston rising up behind me, the kind that had chased me out of one life and straight into this mess. But the empty road stared back, mocking me, and with a curse under my breath, I killed the engine, because Richard Hargrove didn't invite just anyone to his private slice of heaven, and walking away now would cost me everything I'd clawed my way toward. I stepped out into the crisp November air, the kind that bites at your knuckles and whispers promises of frost, hauling my duffel from the trunk like it weighed a ton of regrets. The lake stretched out behind the house, a glassy mirror reflecting the fiery maples that lined the shore, their leaves like spilled blood on the water. Richard's place was straight out of a J.Crew catalog, wraparound porch, stone fireplace chimney puffing lazy smoke, the faint strum of a guitar drifting from inside like it was waiting to seduce me. I'd met the man 6 months ago at a tech mixer in Manhattan, back when I was still just Owen Riley, the hotshot junior dev from a nowhere firm in Queens, scraping by on ramen and rejection letters from every VC on Sand Hill Road. He was the king of fintech, silver fox with a handshake like iron and eyes that saw right through your bullshit. Kid, he'd said that night, clapping my shoulder after I'd pitched my algorithm over cheap Merlot, you've got fire. Come work for me. Hell, come to the lake sometime. Clear your head. Clear my head. Yeah, right. At 28, my head was a war zone. Nights tangled in sheets with guys who vanished by dawn. Days coding lines that fixed everyone else's chaos, but not my own. Gay in a world that still pretended otherwise half the time, especially in the cutthroat startup scene where vulnerability was a liability. But Richard? He got it. Or so I thought. No prying questions about my weekend plans, just a nod when I mentioned a drag brunch in the village once. Live your truth, Owen, he'd said, like it was that easy. And now here I was, his golden ticket invite in hand, because my app prototype had blown up his quarterly demo, and he wanted to talk future. Future. The word tasted like freedom, or maybe just another trap. The front door swung open before I could knock, and there he was, Richard Hargrove in all his lumberjack chic glory, flannel shirt rolled to the elbows, a tumbler of bourbon dangling from his fingers. Owen, Christ, you made it through that godforsaken back road without GPS losing its shit? Get in here, son. His laugh boomed like thunder rolling off the lake, pulling me into a bear hug that smelled of pipe tobacco and old money. Up close, the lines around his eyes crinkled deeper, silver threading his temples like he'd earned every one in boardrooms from Wall Street to Silicon Valley. He was pushing 55, divorced twice, no kids he ever mentioned. Wait, no, that wasn't right. Rumors in the office whispered about a son, some prodigal who'd bailed on the family empire for artsy bullshit out west. We clinked glasses in the great room, the fire crackling like it was auditioning for a Hallmark movie, while he grilled me on code tweaks and market projections. You're the real deal, Owen. My team's been coasting on legacy crap too long. You're disruption in khakis. I flushed, mumbling thanks, my gaze drifting to the wall of photos. Richard with senators, Richard on yachts, Richard grinning beside a lanky kid with my same messy hair and a skateboard under his arm. The son, Alex, early 20s, maybe, all sharp cheekbones and brooding stare, like he'd inherited the Hargrove intensity but twisted it into something wilder. Speaking of disruption, Richard said, swirling his drink, my boy's crashing the party this weekend. Alex, back from LA for a breather. Thinks dad's a dinosaur in the digital age, but you'll set him straight. He winked, and my stomach did a weird flip, not because of Richard, God no, but the way he said it, like this was more than shop talk. Like he knew the nights I'd spent scrolling Grindr profiles that looked a little too much like that photo, chasing shadows of connection in a city that chewed you up. Dinner was steak and stories, the three of us around a farmhouse table that probably cost more than my apartment. Alex Hargrove slouched in like he'd just rolled out of a hangover, faded band tee clinging to his lean frame, jeans ripped at the knees, dark hair flopping over one eye in that effortless way that screamed trust fund rebel. He was taller than the photos suggested, maybe 6 feet 2 inches, with Richard's jaw but softer lips, and eyes. Fuck, those eyes. A stormy blue that locked onto mine across the table and didn't let go. So, you're the wizard who fixed Dad's buggy empire? His voice was low, laced with that California drawl, smirking like he was testing me. I laughed it off, fork midway to my mouth. Wizard? Nah, just a guy who hates seeing good code go to waste. But inside, my pulse was hammering. There was something familiar in that smirk, a ghost of a memory I couldn't place. Some bar in Brooklyn last summer? No, further back. College, maybe? The way he leaned in, elbow brushing mine as he passed the potatoes, sent a spark up my arm I hadn't felt since. Shit, since before it all went south with Jamie. Jamie. The name hit like a sucker punch. My ex. The one who'd ghosted me after I caught him balls deep in our bed with his straight co-worker, whispering apologies that tasted like lies. It's not you, Owen. It's the labels, man. We're in New York. Nobody's that binary anymore. Bullshit. It had gutted me, left me rebuilding from scratch, swearing off anything that smelled like potential. And now here was Alex, dismantling that wall with a single glance, his knee nudging mine under the table like it was accidental. But nothing about him felt accidental. As the night wore on, Richard excused himself early. Old bones need beauty sleep, leaving us with a bottle of Napa Red and the fire's dying embers. The conversation flowed easy at first, his screenwriting gigs in Hollywood, my late-night hacks in a shoebox office. Dad says you're changing the game, Alex murmured, pouring refills, his fingers lingering on the stem. But what's the real you like? Not the pitch-perfect version. I swallowed, the wine warming my veins. Real me? Sleepless, sarcastic, and allergic to happy endings. It was a joke, but my voice cracked on the last word, and his eyes softened, like he'd heard it before. Then let's rewrite one, he said, so quiet it could have been the wind off the lake. His hand found my wrist then, thumb tracing a slow circle, and the room tilted. I should have pulled away, red flags waving like crazy, but instead, I leaned in, our breaths mingling, the kiss tasting like cherries and chaos. It was fire, urgent and deep, his body pressing me back against the couch cushions, hands roaming like they owned me. For those stolen minutes, the world narrowed to his mouth on mine. The scrape of stubble, the low groan he let out when I nipped his lip. This was what I'd been starving for, raw, unfiltered want, no games. But as we broke apart, gasping, he pulled back just enough to search my face. Owen, shit, do you remember me? From that party in Cambridge, sophomore year? You were the quiet one in the corner, sketching code on napkins while everyone else got wasted. The memories slammed home like a freight train. MIT Mixer, 2012. I'd been 19, awkward as hell, nursing a crush on the golden boy across the room. The one with the guitar and the laugh that lit up the dark. Alex Hargrove, visiting from prep school, untouchable. I'd chickened out, of course, watched him leave with some sorority girl on his arm. And now? He was here, lips swollen from mine, eyes dark with something that looked a hell of a lot like regret. You were, I stammered, the wine turning sour in my gut. Yeah, he whispered, cupping my jaw. And I was an idiot who didn't see you then. But I do now. We tumbled into it fully after that, shedding clothes like old skin by the firelight, his body lean and marked with tattoos, a constellation of stars across his ribs, a quote from Kerouac curling down his hip. He moved like he knew every secret ache in me, hands steady where mine trembled, whispering my name like a prayer. Owen. God, Owen. It was messy, intense, the kind of sex that borders on catharsis, his hips grinding slow and deliberate until we shattered together, sweat slick and spent on the rug. Lying thereafter, his head on my chest, fingers tracing lazy patterns on my skin, I let myself believe it. This wasn't a hookup. This was collision. Fate's cruel joke, circling back after a decade to give me a second shot. The lake whispered outside, a lullaby of waves, and for the first time in years, sleep came easy, wrapped in the arms of a man who'd shocked me back to life. But morning brought the first crack. I woke to the smell of coffee, Alex already up, humming in the kitchen while Richard clattered pans like a sitcom dad. Sun streamed through the windows, turning the lake to diamonds, and for a beat, it felt perfect, until Alex slid a mug my way, his smile tight, eyes flicking to his phone like it burned. Everything okay? I asked, voice rough from the night. He nodded too quick. Yeah, just producer stuff. Deadline breathing down my neck. But the way he said it, the evasion in his posture, planted a seed of doubt. Richard burst in then, all bluster and bacon, steering us into a day of team building, hiking the trails, canoeing the glassy water, stories of his glory days in the valley. Alex played along, but I caught the glances he shot his phone, the way he'd vanished to take calls, voice low and urgent. By afternoon, we were alone again, sprawled on the dock with beers sweating in the heat, feet dangling in the chill. Tell me about LA, I prompted, bumping his shoulder. The real shit, not the Instagram version. He hesitated, then sighed, cracking open like a geode. It's a meat grinder, man. Chasing scripts that never greenlight, sleeping on couches, pretending I don't miss this. He gestured to the lake, but his eyes were on me. Pretending I don't miss. Connections like this. My heart stuttered. Like us. Like you. He kissed me then, soft and lingering. The world fading to the lap of water and the taste of hops on his tongue. We made love again right there on the weathered boards, hidden by the rushes, his body arching under mine like a wave cresting. It was slower this time, reverent, fingers interlaced, gazes locked, every thrust a vow. Afterward, tangled in each other's limbs, he confessed fragments. The pressure from Richard to man up and join the firm. The scripts he'd written about boys like us that agents called too niche. They want explosions, Owen. Not this, us. I held him closer, whispering back my own scars, the betrayal with Jamie, the fear that love was just a prettier cage. We're not them, I said fiercely. We get to choose. But choice? That word hung heavy as the sun dipped low, painting the sky in bruises of purple and gold. Dinner was tense, Richard probing Alex about commitments, his son deflecting with jokes that didn't land. I excused myself early, feigning jet lag from the drive, but sleep evaded me. Slipping downstairs for water, I heard voices, low, heated, from Richard's study. That can't keep running, Alex. He's perfect for the firm. And for you, if you'd stop sabotaging. Dad, it's not a setup. Owen's different. A pause, then Richard's voice, steel-edged. Different how? Like the others? The ones you experiment with until it gets messy? Son, I'm giving you a lifeline here. Seal the deal, or watch it slip away. My blood ran cold. Seal the deal? I backed away, glass forgotten, heart hammering like a glitch in my code. Upstairs, Alex's phone lit up on the nightstand. Text from producer Jay. Call me. Script changes incoming. And about your distraction. Keep him close, but don't fuck the pitch. Distraction. Pitch. The pieces slotted in, ugly and sharp. This wasn't fate. It was a script, all right. One where I was the unwitting lead in Alex's latest con. The lake house, the invites, the seduction, it all reeked of orchestration. Richard dangling the job, Alex reeling me into. What? Prove something? Blackmail his dad into funding his dreams. Or worse, use me as leverage in some twisted family power play? I grabbed my keys, duffel slung over my shoulder, slipping out the back door like a thief in my own story. The gravel bit my soles as I fired up the engine, tears blurring the taillights of that perfect facade. But halfway down the drive, headlights flared behind me. Alex's Jeep, skidding to a halt, him leaping out in boxers and a hoodie, bare feet slapping the cold ground. Owen, wait, fuck please. I rolled down the window, voice like shattered ice. What's the play here, Alex? Am I the rom-com subplot to get daddy's checkbook open? Or just a convenient fuck to piss off the old man? His face crumpled, raw and wrecked under the moon. No, God, no. It's complicated. The producer thing, it's for my script. About us, guys like us. But Dad, he thinks if I settle down, I'll stay east. I never meant to. Use me. The word hung there, venomous. You kissed me like it meant something. Said my name like it fixed you. It does. He gripped the doorframe, eyes wild. I remembered you from that party, yeah? Googled you when Dad hired you. Thought it was a sign. But then the calls started, the pressure. I got scared. Turned it into a game to cope. But it's real, Owen. This, you and me. It's the first real thing I've had in years. I laughed, bitter as black coffee. Real? Like your texts? Keep him close, classy. He flinched, then straightened, resolve hardening his jaw. I'll end it. The script, the games, all of it. Just don't leave like this. Give me a chance to prove it. The engine idled, a low growl mirroring the storm in my chest. Behind him, the house lights flickered on. Richard, probably, stirring like a bear from hibernation. The lake watched, indifferent, waves whispering secrets I wasn't ready to hear. Part of me wanted to floor it, vanish into the night like I'd done after Jamie, code a new life from the ashes. But another part, the part that had felt alive in his arms, seen the cracks in his armor, wondered if redemption was just a U-turn away. Fine, I said finally, voice barely above the hum. But no more scripts. This is our story now. Fuck it up, and I'm gone for good. He exhaled like a man reprieved, climbing into the passenger seat, hand finding mine across the gear shift. We drove back in silence, the road unspooling like a fresh reel, the house swallowing us whole again. That night, we didn't sleep, talked till dawn, peeling back layers. His hidden hookups in LA, the closet he'd half-stepped out of to appease Richard, my walls built from betrayals, the code I'd written in a blackout after Jamie that accidentally went viral. Laughter mixed with tears, bodies entwining not in lust, but anchor, his head on my pillow as the first light crept in. The weekend blurred after that. Hikes where hands brushed without agenda, canoe rides with shared silences that spoke volumes. Richard's knowing glances over breakfast like he'd scripted the whole damn thing, but let fate tweak the ending. By Sunday, as I packed, Alex cornered me in the mudroom, duffel at his feet. Come to LA with me. Or let me come to you. New York, Boston, wherever. No deals, no distractions. Just us. I searched his face, those blue eyes steady now, no shadows lurking. And your dad. He'll adapt. Or he won't. But I choose you, Owen. Over everything. The kiss that followed was a seal, fierce and final, tasting of pine and promise. I drove out with his number burning in my phone, the lake shrinking in the mirror. Not a trap, but a turning point. Back in the city, the grind resumed, code sprints, investor calls, but now with late-night FaceTimes, his voice a bomb across the miles. Weeks turned to months. He sold a script, sans the con. I pitched my app solo, landed funding without Hargrove strings. Richard even called once, gruff but genuine. Treat him right, kid. He's my heart. And when Alex showed up at my door that spring, guitar in hand and a ring of keys I'd sent dangling from his pinky, not a proposal, but a key to something real, we built from there. No grand gestures, just the quiet romance of shared coffees, arguments over takeout that ended in make-up sex, the human mess of loving someone flawed. Turns out, the shock wasn't the plans, it was realizing I deserved the rewrite. In the end, love isn't a lake house fairy tale. It's the gravel road that nearly breaks you, the detours that lead home. And for us, it was worth every goddamn crunch.